It's a new day. Welcome to Vlogmas Day 15. If you are looking for a place that welcomes people, whether they're having a good day or a bad, whether they're older or younger, whether they speak multiple languages or only one, whether they have experiences that are inspiring or mundane, because the mundane can be inspiring, then you have found the right place. Right now we're celebrating Vlogmas, which is December around here. And today we're going to have a really great time. So I hope you'll join us to experience all that we have to offer. I just remembered, before we head off, really exciting news came from YouTube over the weekend. And that is that my community here on my page, probably because I now have over 500 subscribers and growing, there's a community page here where you may participate fully now. And I'm so excited. I put a welcome post. I put a story up there about my feelings on community and what some of the guidelines are. I hope that after you watch the video, you'll check that out. Let's keep it moving. I'm cold out here. We're going to do Advent and see what's been happening or what happened in the month of November. I'd love for you to contribute your November memories in the comments. We will also be looking at trees, Christmas trees. Yay, trees. Tree hugger in the house. Our guest star today is Maureen. She will take us to visit a tree, and then we will go to the Festival of Trees in Morven Museum and Garden in Princeton, New Jersey. Followed by that will be Grace, Grit, and Grow, where we talk about the blessings or excitements, the not so great stuff, and how we might continue to grow and change as people, because the big picture is what's important here, not just the things that set us off, and on the contrary, not just the glossy coating we might choose to put over things. So hold on to your hats, get ready to take a peek, and here we go. Who's ready to commemorate October for Advent? In our version of Advent here at Joyful Vlogmas, we recount what happened in certain months, well, actually every month of the year, and we're on to October. I would not have remembered this October happening, except I keep something called Good Morning Love on my Facebook page, which is where I literally write every day to whomever wants to read about what's going on in my life. And it's kind of like Seinfeld. You know, it's really about nothing, and it's about everything. I also made a reel about this, but this was in October, was when I was walking toward the Appalachian Trail, toward the memory of Pochuck Mountain, when I was just, being my goofy self, and I bumped into this very smiley faced man, and we talked about, I was looking for sticks and rocks, sticks and leaves or something. And he commented back, and it was so funny that we both got it. It was so fun to meet a kindred spirit just wandering around in the woods. There's nothing like that. Meet somebody wandering around in the woods who has a sense of humor and enjoys collecting sticks and leaves and rocks. It's got to be good. They've got to be a good person, right? That was October for me. Our special guest star, I'm so excited to introduce you to her if you don't know her already. Her name is Maureen, and her YouTube channel is Memories and Must-Haves. Maureen wants to remind us that it's never too late. It's not too late for you right now to start living with more energy and wellness and good health. She is a cancer survivor, and she lives a keto lifestyle, so she actively practices what she talks about on her channel. She has many, many valuable videos, and I hope that you will check her out and follow her.
Happy Vlogmas, Julie. I hope you're really enjoying this series that Julie's been doing for all of us for Vlogmas. I feel very honored and privileged to have been asked to participate in this. This tree doesn't just represent or light up our home during Christmas time. It represents the years of marriage that I've had with my husband. Every year that my husband and I have been married, we've been able to get an ornament that highlights our year. Not only does it highlight our year with each other, but we have had 5 dogs, and each dog has an ornament that's representative of the year. So this tree is full of history, it's full of stories. And so when we get it out once a year, we're able to smile, cry, laugh, joke, and it brings us back through our marriage, just like Julie's calendar does when she's going through January, February, March, and talking about the things that she's grateful for. Well, that's what this tree does for us. We're able to look at our years of being married as a couple and have an ornament that represents the highlight of that year. This year's ornament, it was my Uncle Tom. He is a World War II vet, and he passed away. So I was able to celebrate with all of my cousins at Myrtle Beach. So we were able to go to Myrtle Beach and celebrate. And so I got an ornament that's a seashell with a little turtle in it. This was the very first ornament that we had together, and it was a picture of our first dog. It's a handmade ornament, but to us it's extremely beautiful, and this means a lot. When we take our tree out every year, we look for certain ornaments so we can talk about them, and we can, I don't know, just reminisce about the years and how fast they've gone by. Because as Julie talked about her brother and grief, there's a lot of things that can change in 1 year, 10 years, 15, 30. It's constantly changing, and that's the one thing that's given. So this tree is a history of us. And so I'm so thankful to be a part of this. And Julie, I put an ornament on the tree just for you, and it's a very special ornament. I thank you for opening up your heart, your words, and your stories with each and every one of us. I hope you have a great day and enjoy Julie's beautiful days of Vlogmas. Go out and make a memory.
I was so pleased that Maureen wanted to make a video and share it with us. And trees, as you know, are dearly beloved by me. Now, behind the scenes, what you don't know is that Maureen made a beautiful ornament. She mentioned that in her video. And I'll show you a picture of it right here. Now, Maureen watched my video about losing my brother and part of that grief process, and how sweet gum trees have figured into that story. And she just so happens to have sweet gum trees on her property, many of them. But the thoughtfulness of going out, collecting a seed pod, and making this beautiful ornament, maybe that will be one of my December Advents for later on, because that's one of those remarkable, doesn't seem like such a big deal, and it really is a big deal, memorable experience. So Maureen, thank you again. And I'm so grateful that you chose to be a guest star on this year's Joyful Vlogmas. One of the inherent challenges in taking you to places is that I need to put so much into so little time. It is mostly like a taste. And a taste of the Morven Museum and Gardens in Princeton is quite the task. So I focused on some of the trees and the mantles, and just recognize that this is the home of a signator of the Declaration of Independence, Richard Stockton, and his family, who owned the home, lived in the home, and there's just so many stories I could tell. Probably the one that I really want to hone in on, though, is that the home was saved from being made into subdivisions. Morven was saved by Helen Hamilton Stockton. The home was saved from this fate by Helen Hamilton Stockton, who married into the Stockton family. Her father actually bought the home for them to live in, and eventually she donated it to the state of New Jersey under a couple provisos. One is that the home would forever be either the governor's mansion or a museum. The other interesting connection there is that Brendan Byrne was the last governor to live in the home, and he was the last governor who I lived under when I was a child living in New Jersey. And unbeknownst to me, Brendan Byrne had a child with Down syndrome. And you'll see the gown that his wife wore to his inaugural ball when they first moved into the governor's mansion / Morven Museum in Princeton. Okay, that's enough. Let's get to the museum. When you step through the gate at the Morven Museum and Garden, it is as if you're being swept into a different time. All of the trees and mantles you'll see decorated around the museum were done so by community groups and organizations from as far away as Allentown, New York. How fun! Many of the trees had themes that had to do with the 250th anniversary of the United States. The materials they used were quite inventive, like the fruits, and this is based on books because it's a publishing company. Hello, hello. This particular room had 5 trees the last time I visited. And this was my favorite of all of the trees. And watch, the lights go on as you walk in saying, wow, we're so grateful you're here. Reminded me of my my beginnings to my videos. In a moment, some cinematic pieces. Here we are. Look at this. Ornaments, gorgeous. And sliding over to, again, my favorite mantle. This room was all about horses and family at Morven. This is when I started looking at architectural detail because I thought you might be interested in some of that. Look at these flowers. I felt like I was back working on the Rose Parade, which I did as a teenager. This tree was my favorite. It wasn't the fanciest, but it was made by the people of a community library and so inventive. And I can just imagine the thrill that the children got making this tree, decorating it all up and honoring the love of books. Hello, 2 book decorations in the same exhibit. Hooray! This beautiful Italian-themed tree taught us about philanthropy in Princeton, and I really loved the entryways. Oh my goodness, so gorgeous. This section of the museum was about the women of Morven, and I appreciated that a lot, even if that mural wasn't exactly my taste. That stunning gown was worn by Jane Byrne when she was inaugurated as First Lady with her husband, Brendan Byrne. By the way, before you go, I wanted to tell you one more thing. This woman, Anna Spodno Stockton, was the woman who helped to build Morven originally. She was also one of the original poets and one of the few women who was published at this time period, and she's never or very rarely spoken of. So Anna Spodno Stockton, you heard of her first here. Secondly, her husband, Richard, who was the signator of the Declaration of Independence, like many of the signatories to the Declaration of Independence, had a very rough go of it. During the Revolutionary War, their home was taken over by the British. He was imprisoned, and when he finally got out, he never got over the struggle that happened as a prisoner of war for the British during the American Revolution. This is actually pretty interesting because their lives kind of are filled with grace, grit, and grow. Can you tell I'm passionate about this? So there you go. Hopefully now you'll look up the Morven Museum. There'll be a link in the description. It is time for Grace, Grit, and Grow, where we talk about the grace or blessings of the day. We talk about the grit, the maybe not so great stuff, and then we talk about the growth edge. What is it that we notice that could use some TLC or some attention, or maybe something you can do with that gritty thing in the middle? So before I get started, I want to remind you, if you would like to share your grace, grit, and grow, any part of that in the comments, that would be great because it's a wonderful way to connect. And remember that this holiday season, my hope is that you will feel more connected and more cared for. If you are curious about why I'm so committed or devoted to this, I would suggest you look at the preview, Vlogmas preview for what I was intending when I started this series. And there's a playlist too that will come up in the end of the video. If it's your first day there, you might just want to swing through and check out those earlier videos so you can sort of see the vibe that we've been setting. I think that you'll enjoy them. Okay. Grace. Grace for today was, I have this thing that I do most Sundays, and that is go for a Sunday drive. Driving really calms me so much if I'm driving, not because I have to get someplace quickly, but if I'm driving and I can thoroughly enjoy myself. And last night I looked up at the sky and I saw a heart-shaped cloud. I showed it to my daughter Emma. She didn't see it, so I'll show it here to you. And look at the tallest tree, the tree that's not like all the others, and it's sort of pointing to the inside of the heart that is like this. It's like, it's pointing like that way. It's not straight up and down, it's pointing that way. But seeing hearts in the sky, hearts anywhere, heart rocks, heart clouds, heart whatever, that's always like a message to me. Maybe just for you too. Grit. This is gonna sound strange, but nothing really gritty happened today. That's strange. That's not an invitation to send grit this way. Maybe I've had enough grit. Maybe I have a good bank account of grit. What do you say? Growth. I have an end of the day journaling practice that I do on spreadsheets. I know this is shocking. The free-spirited Julie, spreadsheet journaling, seriously. And I did it very consistently, and then I have not been doing it very consistently. And I started tracking again, and it feels really good. One of the things that I'm tracking is doing things that I don't want to do and doing them anyway, because I tend to get really resistant to certain things. Right now I'm resistant towards packing and getting rid of stuff. The getting rid of stuff is mostly because I don't know what to do with some of these big things. So I'm going to commit to this to you all. I'm going to put some of these things on Facebook Marketplace, or Facebook Marketplace. I'm going to sell some things for very inexpensive prices that are for babies. And I also have some things I might give away that people who are needy might really need. And I wouldn't want to sell them, but I would give them away. So, okay, so grow. Continuing to grow in ways, do things I don't want to do. The specific thing is to list a few of these items on Facebook Marketplace so I can get rid of them. Because that will be such sometimes little things make a big difference, and I think that's one of them. So, do you have a grit today? Maybe you don't. Do you have a grace today? I hope you do. And is there a growth edge? Is there anything that you're feeling like you really want to try, something that you want to do more of, something that you just need to twist and turn and shape a little bit to make your life just a tiny bit smoother? This is your place where you can state that publicly and we can come alongside and cheer. I love cheering people. And we end today's Vlogmas with more driving, more of a Sunday drive there at High Point State Park. How I love this place and the snow. I did see some cross-country skiers. It's a great place for cross-country skiing if you enjoy that. Finally, I hope that you will subscribe if you don't already. And if you've been on this for this long, I'm guessing that you're a subscriber. Thanks for watching every video, for commenting, for being you, and do check out the new community page. I'm very, very excited about that. How many ways can I say thank you? Infinite ways, infinite ways.